Hi, my name's Griffin, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Congratulations, man! Last night was a big deal for you on Songland, and this is not your first big country hit. This is looks like it's going to be your second country hit. Talk to me about writing this song, second guessing with Florida Georgia or for Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a whole crazy process that's really started out over a year ago, and it's just kind of culminating now. So it's been a lot of different phases, and I'm just really happy that it's all done and the song's out, and I can talk about it with everyone. It's really exciting.
Now you've obviously they listen to your first version and then they jump in right there and then after you perform it and kind of help you recreate it in a sense. So what was that creative process like, as like the guys were bouncing back ideas with you, and as well as Shane was also back. Everyone there was actually just like bouncing ideas to kind of like restructure the song. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was really cool because normally when you're writing for an artist, you don't really get that immediate feedback. You're kind of just like guessing what they would like and trying to make something that, you hope feels like them. So to be able to, sing the song one way and then immediately see what they like and don't like and, get some ideas straight from their brains on how to change it, it's a pretty like efficient process to songwriting.
Did you kind of learn anything from that experience? Did you learn like a new way of writing or whether it's melodies or your lyrics?
Yeah, I mean, writing with Shane and reworking the song, we definitely wrote it from a different way than I'm used to, in terms of like already knowing the final target we're trying to hit and just coming up with ideas that, you kind of just put them up against other stuff that they've put out before and, seeing like, okay, does this kind of feel like that? Does the lyric kind of read the same way as their other stuff does? And so that was a whole different process I wasn't used to doing.
Shane had a statement that is actually quite true, but at the same time, it's quite rare. Also, he mentioned the fact that how has this not been written yet, and how as a songwriter, how difficult is it for you to be able to write something that hasn't been touched before? I feel like there's so many songwriters in the world and there's so many ways of talking about everything that everything has been talked about, but this specific topic, like, you kind of nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of those ideas that I had, and like I immediately looked it up online to try to see if I could find another song that was like it, because it just seemed like it fit together too perfectly. But to my knowledge, it hasn't been done before, and I'm sure there's tons of other things that seem ingenious that just haven't been written before. But the hard part is figuring out what those are.
So, do you usually do research whenever you're writing new material? Do you do research as far as like your lyrics go to make sure that they haven't been in that same kind of sentence or that same kind of line?
I usually don't like dive too deep into that. I kind of just write what feels right, and I kind of look at it as if I don't consciously know that I'm ripping something off, then I don't feel that bad about it. So if it kind of sounds like something later, or if a lyric's similar but I had no idea I was doing it, I don't like beat myself up over it. But yeah, just those times when there's like a title or a concept that you think is like really close to something else or is not like fresh, then sometimes I will look that up and see if it's on something else.
What was it about second guessing? Why did you choose this song for the show?
Well, I just thought that Florida Georgia Line, like, they've had these big monster bangers of songs like Cruise and stuff like that, but they've also like built their career off these like mega monster love anthems like Holy and God, Your Mama and Me and stuff like that. So, they do both sides of the spectrum really, really well. And, I just had this song kicking around for over a year, and I thought if anyone could, smash it out of the park, it would have been them. So,
do you remember what line kicked off, you starting to write the song?
Yeah, I was driving to the session. I wrote it in Nashville with two other people, and I was carpooling with one of the guys from the session, and we were just kind of trying to get a jump start on the day, and he was kind of like, do you have any ideas kicking around? And I had just the title, Second Guessing. So I just kind of told him in the car. I said, what if we write a song called Second Guessing, where from reading the title, you think it's about having cold feet in a relationship or not being sure, whatever, but it's the complete opposite, and you just say, I ain't spent 1 second guessing, about you. So we really wrote the song backwards. We knew we wanted to land the hook, and then we just kind of put the puzzle pieces in front of it to like make that moment really special. So that was the first line we had.
Was this a new way of writing for you, doing it backwards?
No, I probably write songs backwards like 95% of the time. I really like to think of songwriting as a puzzle where it's like I know what I want the picture to look like. I just have to figure out how to, put it together.
That's cool. I think I'd have to say this is probably the first time I've heard anybody say that they write songs backwards. I feel like that's challenging in itself because it's one of those things where when you go back to school and it's like you either struggle with the ending or you struggle with the introduction of whatever essay you're writing about. So I feel like your ending of this song might be amazing, but I feel like it might be so difficult to just like kind of start it.
Sometimes it can be frustrating when you have where you want it to go and you think it would be cool if you could successfully do it, but you just have no idea how to like go through the ways and like set it up so it makes sense or something like that. Or sometimes you'll write the chorus first and the chorus is great, but then you can't figure out a verse. So it's like you have half a cool song and then half a not cool song. So it can backfire on you, but a lot of the time I find that it works really well.
Also, congratulations, because this will be on Florida Georgia Line's 6-pack EP. So, what does that mean to you as a songwriter, being able to not just write, a hit single for a major artist, but also be able to package it with, a body of work?
Yeah, I think like with how music's released nowadays, it seems like sometimes they release one song or two songs at a time or whatever, because like no one really goes into a store anymore to like buy a record. But there is something, I think, for songwriters and just music people in general, that it just means more when it's on a record. There's just something like cooler about it. And it's kind of more of a statement from the artist too. It's like more of a representation of them as a whole. So it's cool that they believe in the song enough to include it with other ones that they might have been working on for the past year or so. So yeah, it's really cool.
How different is your songwriting for other artists compared to your songwriting for your own material?
It's pretty much the same process always. I just kind of write, whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever energy is in the room. And I usually don't think about if I want to keep the song for my own project or to pitch it until it's kind of over. Because I find like if I start thinking about it as too close to me, it kind of blocks out some other cooler ideas maybe because I want it to be too personal. And then also if I'm trying to write for someone else, I might make it like more vague than I want it to be for myself. So I think that if you just kind of write the best song every time that you can, no matter what, and then reassess it after, you kind of set yourself up in a better position.
What is next for you? Songland just happened. I feel like more opportunities are going to happen for you. But what's going on next with you? You're releasing music soon?
Yeah, I hope to release music soon. I mean, right now we're all just kind of sitting around waiting to see what happens. But until then, I'm just kind of writing a bunch of songs, pitching some to other artists, keeping some hopefully a project that I can record and release on my own, and just kind of seeing where that takes me next.